Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is CMG TALK. This is Catherine Gallagher. I'd like to talk about support systems, networking, or people around you that you have in your life. It's about having a sense of feeling supported, loved, respected, valued, that you matter, that you are noticed, that people appreciate you, and that people invest in you and in who you are. I wonder, when I'm saying this, do you think about who you have in your life? Is it family? Do you have friends or a friend? Do you have a partner? Do you have people that you connect with in different ways? We can connect with people, can't we? We can connect with them in work, over work. We can connect with them in hobbies or through retirement associations. We can connect them in a faith group situation. We connect them on Instagram or Facebook or social platforms like TikTok. We can connect with people face to face, right? But I wonder, when I'm sitting and I'm talking about social connections, what that looks like for you. Often when I talk to people about the support system they have around them, and whether they connect with people in person. Do you meet up with somebody? Are you going for walks with them? Are you going and doing some sort of hobby or interest with them? Do you talk about what's going on in your life? Do you share your emotions, your feelings, your problems? Sometimes they'll say, I don't want to be a bother, or I only talk to one person, or I've got one or two people that are there for me. Sometimes they only have one or two people. Sometimes they'll talk about friends that they used to have that they miss, but they stop connecting with them. It might be that they've got a job that they've moved away. It might be they got promoted. It might be that they get married or they're in a committed relationship and they stopped investing in their friendships. Sometimes we'll lose people through our life for different reasons, different circumstances. It might be through bereavement, but it can also be that they've moved away. We've moved away, relocated. When we think about how supported we feel in our life, it became really apparent during the pandemic that being isolated psychologically is a very negative thing. And we understood that some people, when they had forced lockdowns, some people thrived in it because they felt that they had the pressure off them and they felt that they could invest in their family, their friendships, their relationships. They felt that the work pressure was off. They felt that they really enjoyed it. Others, though, felt disconnected. They felt isolated. They didn't feel supported at all. It was scary. It was terrifying for a lot of people. What became really clear was that we were constantly being reminded to reach out, to connect, to talk to people, to meet up with people. And many, many, many of us did. But I wonder how many have connected and kept those connections going. How many of us are still connecting in the same way, investing in the same way? I don't know. What about you? When I talk to people that have most of their support online, they often struggle with social anxiety. They find it very hard to meet up, to go to parties, because they lose or haven't actually ever developed social cues. They don't really know how to interact. They can't really find and understand ways to navigate around a lot of the social interactions. When we meet up with people face to face, we understand and start to learn very early on if we're doing it. We learn about turn taking, and we learn about, body language and mimicking and mirroring and all of these different types of behaviours. We look at subtle cues, facial cues, with gestures. But if we're not investing in meeting up with people, going out, sitting with people, taking the time to get to have conversations, and all we're doing is meeting people online, we become more and more introverted. If we're only connecting to maybe one or two people, or we're only connecting with ourselves, we've only really got a few perspectives to look at. Sometimes people say to me, I don't really talk about how I feel, I keep it to myself. Well, there's a reason why they're talking to me in the first place, usually because they're not sharing what they're going through. They're only keeping it to themselves. So they don't get perspective taking, they're not challenging what they're thinking, they're not working on their negative internal self-talk. If you've listened to my previous episodes, you'll have heard all these episodes. Our support system, our network, who we have around us in our life is a personal choice. But relationships need us to invest in them just as much as we want people to invest in us. And if we've lost contact with people, friendships, family members, maybe we might have just let time go by. Maybe we've had an argument and sometimes we can't even remember exactly what the argument was about. Maybe we're holding on to something and nobody wants to lose face. Sometimes we don't get a do-over. Time happens. And before we know it, it's too late. So if you have a social connecting relationship that you've disconnected from, don't leave it too late. Reach out to people. And make sure you're connecting with people in your own life. Make sure you know who these people are. If you're connecting with people online, make sure that you are protecting yourself safely online. Often we connect to people in a way that we feel comfortable doing it. Sometimes we put ourselves out there. You'll have heard me say that I'm not big on listening to the many likes you get or the many followers you get. For me, it's more about having people that are interested in investing in themselves, interested in, developing and growing into the best version of themselves, or that are interested in hearing what I, have learned over the last 30 years, that, these relationship work, the, work on our internal self-talk. And if people are interested in learning and wanting to hear about mental health and mental wealth and how to address mental illness, then I'm happy for them to connect. But my biggest thing is to empower people. Is to empower people to have that investment in themselves. And to have their people around them, their people, your people, have people, good people around you that are going to lift you up, support you, respect you, value you for who you are, that you can trust. Because that's what it's all about. Relationships, for me, that's what matters. And if we're not investing in people around us, then how do we expect relationships to thrive and grow? Thanks for listening. Hope you feel supported tonight. Have a wonderful night or day, whatever time it is for you, or evening or afternoon. All the best until next time. Happy Sunday. Bye for now. Remember, if you want to listen in to any of my talks, if you want to have me come along and do a speaker engagement, you can connect with me online. It's stepupcmg.com, and you can also contact me at my email address. Okay, take care. Bye for now. Thanks for joining me.